Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. SmackDown sucked down hard once again tonight, and it is amazing to me what a contrast we have gotten from the 2-hour show in an empty arena that AEW put on Wednesday night to the piece of crap that they put on here tonight. The SmackDown show trying to build a ridiculous WrestleMania. That's a topic that we will get into a little bit later on, and did absolutely nothing but made you want to not want WrestleMania to even happen. If you are not wishing even more for the postponement of this show so that they can flesh out together something a little bit better than what they got going on, then I don't know what you're so excited for. What are you happy about? Are you happy about the Gronk? You happy about the Gronk being the host for 2 friggin' nights in front of an empty arena with singles match after singles match after singles match? None of them, almost none of them, to even give 2 shits about. We are going to talk about all of that and so much more right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Suck Down in front of no fans extravaganza review, because I gotta entertain you since they can't. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
The WWE is a circus, man. They're a circus, and you know what the last thing any good circus needs is more clowns. I'm sure every circus has more than enough clowns to get by. And if I'm being honest with you, the WWE is nothing but a bunch of clowns, right from the writing staff all the way through to the talent. And that was clearly on display tonight. And the fact that the WWE wants to sign an ex-pro football guy who's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, but is also like a 3-time Super Bowl loser, twice to my New York Giants, thank you very much, who has done nothing of note, nothing that matters. Anytime he was in and around the WWE at WrestleMania in the Battle Royal, helping out Mojo the Bozo with all that shit with Jinder Mahal, who gave a shit about that? Not me. I'm pretty sure I shit all over it. Whether or not I had this show or not, I probably was just out of my mind that this was all even happening. Not just because he's a New England Patriot and I can't stand the friggin' Patriots and I can't stand anything about what they were in their heyday when I was getting, you know, my football thing on a lot more than I'm doing recently since I'm so stuck in the world of professional wrestling now. I didn't give a shit about him then. I certainly don't give a shit about the Gronk now. And then they got this guy coming out. You got Mojo the Bozo in there with Michael Cole. And then you got this guy Gronkowski coming out. We got Rob Gronkowski, and he comes out. A fucking clown show. This is what we need for WrestleMania. This is what we need for 2 nights. 2 nights in a row. Rob Gronkowski dancing around like an idiot, being the host of a show that nobody wants to see. Don't embarrass yourselves by calling this WrestleMania. Absolutely unforgivable. Unforgivable. And did they make it interesting aside from all of his stupid gyrations and ridiculous dance moves and playing off to a crowd, trying to get the crowd to cheer him on? Does he not know the crowd's not there? Is he friggin' blind? I'm short of breath here from all that Gronkowski dancing. How did he even have the stamina to get in the ring after all his goofery? Ridiculousness. The host of WrestleMania, the Gronk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't get into it. I don't give a shit. And they made it worse. Not just with Mojo the Bozo. But then they have Constable Dickhead, the now king of garbage, Baron Corbin, coming out here, confronting Rob Gronkowski like any of us wants to see this. And it gets infinitely worse, because who comes out to confront the king of trash? The rock star of trash, Mr. Irrelevant, Elias. Elias is now going to have a one-on-one match with Baron Corbin at this WrestleMania because the Gronk said so. It's me, Baron Corbin, versus Elias. That makes me want to dance. That was the last time. Maybe. Oh, God. I hate this show. I hate what they're doing. I hate what they think is important. I hate what they think is special. Because none of it is. None of it is. Paige came back to SmackDown. And it wasn't live. It wasn't live because nobody can travel anywhere. Nobody wants to get together in big groups, and we want to minimize our contact with each other. We got social distancing in full effect, live and on display once again at SmackDown. Paige was on the screen. Paige was live from somewhere. And Paige wants to get involved with the women. And it was not what I was expecting. They hyped up Paige with some huge announcement, right? So, given the trend of wrestlers coming back, I thought for sure maybe Paige was going to announce a return to the ring. But that was not why they had Paige come here. Paige came to SmackDown tonight to make a match. She talked to her friends on Fox, because the friends on Fox make matches now. And they gave her the authority to book Bayley's match. And you got Bayley and Sasha out there. Sasha looking like a hot tiger. Holy cow. Bayley just sitting there giving one of these Bayley promos where she's trying to come off as crass and arrogant, and it just really comes off as goofy and disingenuous. That's not the last time we'll use that word on this review. And Paige says, oh, I'm going to make a match for you at WrestleMania. PC Mania. And it's going to be Bayley versus Bam Bam. Nobody gives a shit about this girl, and she's getting another title. Bam 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 shot. Bam Bam. Forgot that last word. Title shot. Bam Bam. And then it gets worse. The WWE liked to make everything worse tonight. Not only did they give us the announcement of Bayley versus Lacey Evans, but then Paige felt the need to include Dana Brooke. Old Duck Lips, old Dick Lips is getting a shot again. She must have shined somebody's chrome in the back real nice. And then Paige decides, oh, we'll make it even better. We'll add Naomi. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't bother me. Naomi should definitely be in the title picture. We could do that. That's fine with me. So now we got 4 ladies in this matchup. We got 4 ladies. And then she wants to make it worse even still. For some reason, Bayley brings up Tamina. And then Paige is like, oh yeah, right, Tamina. That's right, she does actually still work here. Let's just put her in the match. Not that she deserves a shot at a championship. Not like she's had a match on SmackDown since God knows how long that mattered. We're just going to put Tamina in there because, we got no one else. Since we want to put everybody possible in this matchup. And then the caveat, the one thing that was actually interesting. Bayley did not reveal that Nia Jax was coming back. Bayley did not put Carmella in the match. She didn't put Mandy or Sonya in the match. She said the final contestant for this 6-pack challenge will be Sasha Banks. And I sat there and said, holy shit. Not because they actually are going to have them in this match and Sasha made these little eyeballies at the belt like, oh, maybe I'm not going to be your friend anymore, tee-hee. No, that's not what I was saying holy shit about. Holy shit is about they actually know what they have to do. They know the story that they need to tell. They know what the fans want to see, but instead of just giving us Sasha versus Bayley, they had to flood it. They had to flood the ring with undeserving, irrelevant trash. Why? Why couldn't Paige have come out there tonight and been like, oh, I'm back tonight, and then just stir the shit between the two of them? And you know what? Paige has authority to make a match, and the match she's going to make is the match everybody wants to see. Bayley versus Sasha at PC WrestleMania. What's so hard about that? Why do we have to involve 4 women that don't need to be involved in this particular story? The only one out of the crop that they added to this match that I would have been accepted of at all, as we mentioned, was Naomi. That's fine. You even wanted to make it a triple threat? Sasha versus Naomi versus Bayley? I would have been down with that. It wouldn't have bothered me. It would have bothered me maybe a little bit because I still would have seen that they just don't want to give us Sasha versus Bayley. But I would have got over it. I would have been fine with it. But Dana Brooke? Tamina? Bam, bam. No, thank you. That's a hard pass. And now anybody that watches that match is only going to watch to see what transpires between Bayley and Banks. And that's all that matters. So everything else can go away. Unnecessary and completely overbooked. Isn't it a little bit irresponsible of them to have a 6-person match anyway with the current state of things that are going on right now? Ridiculous. This show was made even worse by the fact that they wanted to replay the Bray Wyatt versus John Cena match at WrestleMania 30. Once again, proving what I said in my Wednesday review to be true. And that this company, the WWE, took the F out 20 plus years ago, which actually meant they were taking the wrestling out of wrestling, and they claimed to be an entertainment company. They wanted to do films, they wanted to expand into TV, we've seen all kinds of things. And they can't come up with a 2-hour show that's 100% original, that you had to go to the well and take a match that we have seen already, that any real wrestling fan that's actually still watching you can go and watch on their own by logging into the network. And you're showing us this match because, oh, well, it shows the beginning of the match with The Fiend and John Cena. I understand why you wanted to show this particular match. But you guys promoted that you were airing WrestleMania 30 on ESPN for every Sunday going forward. You could have just told everybody to watch it then. If you wanted to sell this story from 6 years ago, since nobody gives a shit about it now, and it's irrelevant and doesn't matter now without the Universal Championship at stake. But we gotta go back and show this match, which all it really showed was not just the fact that this match was not as good as some of us may have remembered it to be, but the insanely over crowd that wanted nothing more than to see Bray Wyatt beat John Cena into submission. That crowd was electric hot for this guy. They were singing, "You got the whole world in his hands." John Cena was the villain in that match, but the WWE dropped the ball and buried Bray Wyatt. For what reason? Many of us will never know. You could speculate that John Cena had a bad opinion of him at the time. You could speculate that Vince McMahon just got tired of him, or whatever the hell the real reason could possibly be. But all they did was show you, we're stupid. Look how stupid we are. We're going to show you this match that illustrates our stupidity, because here was a time and place where Bray Wyatt was supposed to win and start to ascend to the superstar status that he currently almost kind of finds himself in now. and you gave him a match with the unbeatable John Cena, Big Match John, and killed this guy. You showed the murder of Bray Wyatt, which is the catalyst for everything that's going on. Blah, blah, blah. I get that. But also, it reminds me of how angry I was that night and how stupid they are. Not something you really want to highlight. This is the first time we killed Bray Wyatt. Remember that? We just recently did it again in order to build up this match that we want you guys to care about now. No. No, thank you. And then after the match, they wanted to revisit everything that happened on the last week's segment when Bray Wyatt came out and confronted John Cena and all the things that John Cena... It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't mean shit anymore. And it means especially less in the current state of that WrestleMania finds itself in. With no fans and a Fiend match and John Cena wrestling in front of nobody. Are you going to care? You're going to care as much about that as you care tonight about the tag team situation and the dirt sheet. One of the worst dirt sheets I have ever had to sit through. You know what? I used to be a big fan of the Miz and Morrison. But now all I want to say is, Miz and Morrison, hell, no. Shut up. Just shut up. Whatever it is they're writing for you guys isn't worth it. It's not worth it. You don't have to say any of this shit. You didn't have to do anything you did tonight. All you had to do was go out there for your match. This little extended dirt sheet segment with all the pre-taped shit with Miz and Morrison dressed up as bacon. These two idiots were dressed up as strips of bacon in order to represent their impersonation of heavy machinery. They didn't put on fat suits. They didn't come out dressed up like a ham and a pineapple. They didn't come out dressed up as anything. They came out dressed as bacon. How is that representative of heavy machinery? Is it a fat joke? Because it's not funny. And you looked like a couple of nitwits. And it didn't make me laugh. I didn't find it amusing. I didn't find it any more amusing seeing John Morrison walking around dressed like a freaking unicorn, making fun of the New Day, having them dress up like the Usos, doing this stuff that back in the day heels used to do. We remember DX and the Nation of Domination going at it. We remember when DX dressed up just like the Nation, which was touchy at best for those times. And this wasn't very offensive on that level, but did you laugh? Did it give you any reason to care about the Miz and Morrison? No, it made you want to change your channel. Miz and Morrison are concerned they don't have a match at PC Mania. Why would you want to have a match? Stop selling this thing as if it's still actually WrestleMania. Because it's not. You can call it whatever you want. It's not going to be WrestleMania without the fans. It's just going to be a 2-night boredom fest. These guys looked like a bunch of clowns, as we said at the start of this thing. Miz and Morrison, couple of clowns. That segment made me want to poke my own eyes out. Followed by a tag team matchup. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Miz and Morrison, hell, no. Versus Heavy Machinery. Non-title matchup. And the champions win by disqualification because Dolph Ziggler came out to show a slideshow to Otis of Dolph and Mandy Rose. And if you're a longtime fan of this show, and you've seen many of my reviews, you know one of the things that tick me off is when you book a wrestler to be in the middle of a match and then have somebody come out to distract him, only for him to stand there for a solid 5 minutes doing absolutely nothing. He's in the middle of a tag team matchup. He's got his opponents down on the floor. And he's going to stand there and stare at the Titantron and watch all these pictures show up? Why would he even allow Dolph Ziggler to get to that point? Otis is already pissed. He's already hurt. The minute Dolph Ziggler made his way down the ramp, he should have turned around and went straight for him to bash his brains in. Sure, it wouldn't have looked good. Would have left Tucker all on his own. But it would have gave a good reason for the Miz and Morrison to win this matchup. It wouldn't have had to been by disqualification. They could have got the pin in that scenario because Otis was distracted in a way that was physical, in a way that didn't make him look like a fucking idiot. Having him standing there crying over pictures of Dolph just standing with Mandy Rose in different weird summery outfits. And the man stood there and watched the whole show. And the logic there is just baffling to me. I can't suspend my disbelief when I know for sure that if that was me, I'm not just going to stop. I mean, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to finish this match. I'm going to stay focused on my opponent, and I'm going to get this W so that I can get a shot at this championship. Or I'm going to go out there and bust up Dolph Ziggler's lip. I'm not going to stand here like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, moving in slow motion, doing nothing but crying. I don't know who writes this shit. I don't want to know who writes this shit. I certainly hope that that person gets fired at some point over the course of the next year. And I don't like to wish that kind of stuff on people, but you're clearly not a creative person. You're clearly a stupid person. And you're clearly out of touch with what is entertaining anymore. And you don't care about not making your superstars look like idiots. You're totally okay with making guys like Otis look like a jackass, standing there getting bullied and berated by Dolph Ziggler while he shows a slideshow in the middle of a match. And I'm not supposed to take offense to that. I'm not supposed to get angry at that as a fan. That you don't have respect enough for your athletes and your business to put forward something that at least makes sense. You have to put on this bullshit soap opera garbage. There's a place for that in pro wrestling, and that's what vignettes and backstage segments are for. Not in the middle of matchups. Absolutely ridiculous. This show ended with the contract signing for Goldberg and Roman Reigns, and it was all I could to keep the vomit from protruding from my face. Because this is not just something that we don't want, but it's something that's now being forced down our throats, and they're trying to flavor it with intensity that's not there. What are they so pissed off about? Oh, Michael Cole unearthed a tweet. This was a tweet from a few months ago. Oh, you said something about Bill Goldberg bashing his head into steel doors. This is what this is built on? Oh, Roman says something about something Bill Goldberg has been doing for 20 years. Oh my God. Roman said he's next because he's tired of seeing Bill beat up lockers. What? Bill Goldberg calls Roman Reigns a little bitch dog. Or some shit. Hey, punk. Or Roman called Goldberg a bitch. I don't care. I don't care. This was the most forced. The most disingenuous. There's that second time we were going to use that word. I promised you, and I didn't let you down. And it was even more disingenuous in this moment than it was with Bayley and all of her promos. Holy shit, man. Are you kidding me? They were trying so hard to look mad at each other. But why do they hate each other? Master of the Spear versus Master of the Spear. Wrong and wrong. The Master of the Spear is the rated R superstar. Goldberg's spear looks like shit. Roman Reigns' spear looks like shit. Hell, even Charlotte does a better spear than the two of those knuckleheads. Do you guys understand that Luke Harper was let go by the WWE, right? Because Vince McMahon didn't understand what to do with him. And now here we are this week, and Luke Harper made history. And it's the WWE's fault. Because they aired that Bray Wyatt match that had Luke Harper in it on the outside. So Luke Harper was in a match tonight on SmackDown. And he was also debuted on AEW in the same week. That's like some Monday Night War type shit. And when you see what Brody Lee did there, and you look back at what Luke Harper was here, you can't help but know that what he did definitely took inspiration from his time with Bray Wyatt, and that he's definitely in a better place now. And Vince McMahon wants to give us guys like Bill Goldberg as the Universal Champion, but lets Matt Hardy go to AEW because he's too old now. What? How is Matt Hardy too old, but you got a match for The Undertaker at WrestleMania? How do you not give Matt Hardy free reign of his creative control and give him something fun to do, but you got Bill Goldberg walking around as the Universal Champion? Vince McMahon don't like old guys. That's why he let Chris Jericho walk away. He threatened Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho said, hey, listen, I might go do this thing with AEW. And Vince was like, ha, go. I don't care, go. He didn't think that Jericho would go. Then Jericho left. And he was like, oh, why'd you go? He said, well, because you don't have anything for me. They said themselves on Talk is Jericho. Matt Hardy was on Talk is Jericho, and they were talking about how Vince McMahon has lost it. And he doesn't see value in old people, so much so to the fact that he tries his hardest to never show his own face on Raw or SmackDown anymore because he don't like old people. But then I got a 50-year-old guy as the Universal Champion. And a match for The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I'm sure a spot for Triple H whenever he wants one. The man has lost his mind. That's why WrestleMania is going even more downhill with every match they make. The only thing about this show that was mildly redeeming in any sense was Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. I like the fact that they're kind of teaming now. I think it's cool. I've been hearing rumors that Daniel Bryan may be pulling back a little bit from that, top star role. He wants to maybe diminish his dates and have more of a part-time contract, and the guy certainly deserves it, and the WWE didn't give him any reason to want to stick around full-time anyway. And if this time he is going to be in the tag team division with a guy like Drew Gulak, I think they complement each other very well. They were in a match tonight with Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, which was a very good tag team matchup. Definitely lacking the ambiance of the crowd, which I think would have been all over this match. And it seems like Drew Gulak is actually getting a little bit of a rub with Daniel Bryan by his side that may be trying to give him a little bit of a push forward. I don't know how long it's going to last. But I enjoyed this matchup, and I enjoyed the setup going forward. Daniel Bryan wants a shot at Sami Zayn since he likes to run his mouth so much, and he was talking shit about Drew Gulak post-match. And he wants a shot at the Intercontinental Championship, does Daniel Bryan. Sami Zayn says if Drew Gulak can beat Shinsuke Nakamura next week, then Daniel Bryan can have his match at PC Mania for the Intercontinental Championship. And I am not mad at a match that's going to have Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. The way Sami Zayn got to the Intercontinental Championship is an absolute abomination. It's just totally abysmal writing, bottom of the barrel shit, and nonsensical. He's the manager of two of the best wrestlers in the world, and he ended up with the championship. And Shinsuke and Cesaro are just taking losses left and right, and I don't like that. I don't like that aspect about it at all. But these two little segments were the one moment on this night where I was like, okay, they got a little something going here. They had my interest with Dolph and Otis and Mandy, but the way that they're continuing to do these stupid segments that just reek of like Monday Night Raw level cringe bad. Just as bad as Mojo the Bozo and Gronk. I had to throw one last one in there. This show sucked. Everything they got coming at us totally sucks. I hope that the rumors are true, that the WWE has some sort of a backup plan or a secret plan for WWE WrestleMania to be taking place later on this year at Madison Square Garden. Hopefully that would be great. I understand they can't get to June keeping the card the way it is, and I think that's a blessing in disguise. Have your little 2-day event that was supposed to be WrestleMania. Call it something else. Call it Corona Mania. Call it Viromania. Call it PC Mania. Don't call it WrestleMania. Make it a special 2-night thing. Try to get everybody's mind off of shit. Try your best to entertain us, as much as I know you're going to fail, because the card itself is just not worth watching. Maybe 1 or 2 matches got your interest at best, if you're anything like me. And then have WrestleMania in June at Madison Square Garden. Continue telling your storylines and flesh out something new, something special, something different, going from whatever it is you do at this thing you do in April. Don't call it WrestleMania, because it's not. And it won't feel like it, even if the banners are up and everything. That's not going to be WrestleMania. Come on. The fans don't deserve that. The talent definitely doesn't deserve that. WrestleMania is sacred to many of us. It's been dog shit for the last 6 years. The last truly great WrestleMania was WrestleMania 30, the greatest WrestleMania of all time. WrestleMania 17. There's also a lot of great WrestleMania moments littered throughout its history, from the first ever WrestleMania to the often overlooked WrestleMania 18, which had Hogan versus The Rock and Triple H versus Jericho. WrestleMania 20 with Benoit and Guerrero. Some really great shit, man. Really great shit. And this will not provide us anything near any of those moments. And I really hope that it changes. Maybe the wrestling gods will intervene once again. I still strongly believe that the wrestling gods are fully in control. Remember when we were going to get that stupid Pumpkin King Finn Balor versus Sister Abigail Bray Wyatt a couple of years back, and then everybody got some other disease. I forgot what it was. It was like meningitis or some shit. I don't remember what it was, but Bray Wyatt got it, and it put a whole wrench in everything. We ended up getting Finn Balor versus Daniel Bryan, I believe, or AJ Styles it was at the time. Daniel wasn't back yet. It's the wrestling gods intervening because shit sucks, and they seen how bad WrestleMania sucks, and they were like, here, you know what, you guys, we're going to help you out. Deal with this. And they cancel everything. But Vince, that stubborn bastard, he won't cancel a thing. The best thing they could do is not call this thing WrestleMania. Postpone the actual WrestleMania. Hopefully it's not as bad as I think it's going to be, but the way things are shaping up, all these different singles matches, all these really unnecessary things going on, and to do it all in front of no crowd. It's one thing to do a weekly show in front of no crowd, but a pay-per-view, and not just a pay-per-view, the biggest wrestling-themed pay-per-view of the whole entire calendar year. And I'm sorry, New Japan fans, but you'd have to be stupid to believe that WrestleMania is not the biggest wrestling show of the year. It might not be the best show of the year, but traditionally, it has held that title forever, and now is in more danger than ever of losing that title. Because you can't have a show like that without us fanning the flames and keeping it hot. Thank you guys so much for indulging me today. We're a little bit wacky today. We've been stir crazy in the house. We did our AEW review earlier today because I've been passing out cold for the last couple of nights because I've been working so hard, because the panic is real. Everybody is crazy. Everybody's overbuying food, and I have never cut that many chicken cutlets in my whole entire life as I have cut this week for this ridiculous town that's just absolutely going apeshit. And I'm tired of talking about any of that. with any of them. So I would much rather be here talking with you, keeping things positive, making sure you guys wash those hands, keep yourself clean, keep yourself safe. Stay away from other people if you must, but if, like me, you have to go out there, protect yourself as best you can. Everything is going to be okay. Trust me. All things will pass with time. The situation is getting better in certain areas of the world as it is worsening now, but it does have to get worse before it gets better, as the old saying goes. I want you guys all to know that I'm safe, my family's safe, we're all doing fine, and I hope the same can be said for each and every one of you. My prayers are with all of you guys. I love my sledgeheads. I want you all to remain healthy and happy, and I know WWE don't make you happy, so I come here to fill that void and make you as happy as I possibly can. And if that means I have to fire up a musical number to dance like a jackass, that's what I'm going to do for you guys. That's it. I'm wiped out. I'm done. I'm going to go get some rest. We got a weekend ahead of us. I got to work tomorrow. Pray for me. Hopefully it's not as bad as I think it's going to be. New York's going on a pretty decent shutdown starting tomorrow or Sunday evening, I believe, at midnight. But don't affect me because I work in the essential shit. I don't get the free vacation like everybody else. I got to go and shuck cold cuts at Don Tony's Deli. Tell Don Tony I said what's up. I love him. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Baloo the Snowball, the most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now if you are not already a member of the Sledgehead Army. My Sledgeheads keep coming more and more, and I welcome each and every one of you with open arms. Don't forget to bring the hammer down with me on everything in the world of professional wrestling, and bring the hammer down on that like button. If I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if I made you understand why these empty arena shows from the WWE suck ass so bad, hit that like button right now. Don't forget to share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world. And then if you missed it, because it just went up a few hours ago, you got to go check out maybe the most positive review I have ever put up on this channel ever, especially when pertaining to AEW. My review of their empty arena show, which is a complete 180 turnaround from what the WWE gives us, is live on the channel right now. You want to know what I thought about that show? Go check it out. It'll be linked in the annotations up above. And as always, all the pay-per-view reviews, Revolution, Elimination Chamber, Super Shitdown, and every episode of Raw and SmackDown feels the wrath of the hammer. If you missed any of it, it's there for you guys right now. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com, where you will never have to see the Gronk. But I may pull that song out a couple more times, especially during that WrestleMania bullshit weekend. Blah! Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next time.